Hey everyone, welcome back to Hills and Haulers Homestead. Mike again, and I ran into a dilemma. So it's getting to be winter. It's still fall, but it's getting to be winter. It is actually kind of spitting snow right now. We had a day of where it did snow, just a dusting, nothing major to get out of that. But the temperature is dropping. We've had a lot of rain here recently, so it's muddy and cold, and I have to worry about my piggies. Now, they are absolutely fine, and they have done fine. But now that the foliage is off, for the most part, they've still got some pretty good underbrush in there. But as far as the main canopy of the trees and stuff like that, the foliage is off, and they don't have any shelter. I'm such a bad pig owner. I'm a terrible piggy daddy, aren't I? So we know Boris has shelter. He's fine. These guys don't. So what I did was I came here along my fence line, and I'm going to take this section in the middle here out. I brought the hoop coop down here. I'm going to pop the door off of it, and then I'll take the two perches out and then the nesting boxes, and this will go from a hoop coop to a pig palace. And it is plenty big enough for 4 big old fat hogs, 4 big old fat pigs anyways. And I'll just load this thing full of straw and stuff like that. That way they've got shelter from the rain and stuff like that, and the snow. They can come in here and get in here. So we moved it from the orchard up here down to here. I went ahead and set my T-post tonight, and all I'll do is find a middle point between this post and this post. I'll snip all 3 lines. I'll bring them in this way, in that way, splice onto them, bring it all the way around on the inside here. And that way I will have a continuous loop as well, so I'm not going to interrupt my loop. So this will become, I'll bring the pig water barrel out here. I'll set it here. I'll get their feeders in here. And I'm 200 feet from the house versus over 400 clear out there. A couple things to consider as well is with winter, cold weather temperatures coming, water's going to freeze, especially in a hose stretched over 400 feet out from the house. So I would have to either drain that thing completely every time I used it, or I would just have to shuttle water back and forth out there, and I'm not going to do that. So I can put the barrel here, use only 200 feet of hose versus 400 feet, and I can run 200 foot of extension cord out here, and I can get one of the things that goes down in the water that keeps it from frosting, plug it in and put it in there, and that way they've got unfrozen water, so they've got water all winter. And I am going to work on new feeders for them. I'm going to go instead away from those cut barrels to individual just bowl feeder type things, but I've got a bunch of scrap lumber I'm going to use to build that in. So we'll do that, and I'm just going to run electric in here. It'll be 3 strands again, and I'll just put a couple step-in posts here and there to kind of help support it, but all the rest of this is T-posts. Now, Boris will be out here by himself, but this is just going to be their winter pen here for the pigs. That way their water, like I said, everything's closer to the house. I can run the utilities out here that I need to keep the water from freezing and get them shelter and stuff here. And Boris is fine. He's still got his own pen. The pigs can still get in the pen there beside of it. And he's got his own shelters and stuff out there, so he's fine with that. So that's where we had to change everything around, and it comes out just even with my building right here. So I still got plenty of road room here to drive out through here as I need to. But good winter use for the pig, or the hoop coop, becoming a pig palace. And they're not going to destroy this thing by anybody's way of thinking. They're going to do fine with it. Put plenty of straw and stuff in there, and it'll hold up to them. But I don't want to introduce Boris until the 2 boys go to freezer camp. And I don't know if they would be aggressive, since these guys are barrows and he's not. They may catch a scent from him. They may get territorial. I definitely don't want this 400-pound hoss hurting my little registered pig, my little registered boar. And after they're gone, then I'll introduce Boris into the 2 ladies here. And he can get accustomed, get acquainted, and get used to them, and we'll go from there. But now with that changing, and they're just, see, that's the problem with trying to keep up with everything is you go from one thing to the other. I mean, we finally got all of the firewood loaded. It's all been split. We've got it all loaded, hauled over there. I got a utility tent that I put up, and I got all the wood stacked up in the utility tent on the patio for the winter, set up on pallets and everything. So we've got wood right outside the basement door where the wood burner is. The cool thing is for the past 5 days, now we've had pretty much constant temperatures in the 20s and 30s, as I have heated our whole house. The upstairs, the whole living area upstairs is 1,800, just over 1,800 square feet. The whole basement is just over 1,800 square feet. So we've got over 3,600 square feet. That wood stove is rated for 3,000 square feet, and I have kept it going 24/7. And I'm gonna tell you, it has kept the entire house warm. I've turned the furnace down to 66 degrees, and the coldest it's gotten in the house is 70 degrees, and that was 9 hours after I'd filled it up before we went to bed. And I got up this morning and it was 32, 33 degrees out here, and still raining, and it was 73 degrees in the house. And that's the whole house. And I mean, this is a thermostat upstairs down the hall. So it's doing great. If I can swing it, I'd absolutely love to not even use a furnace at all this year, so, or the rest of this winter. So we'll see what we can do with that. I should have plenty of wood. If not, I've got a few trees down up here that I just pushed out of the way here, a couple my last little mowing adventure before the cold weather set in, so I can cut them up and bring them down as well. But change, like I said, we'll just incorporate this area. This is where all the wood was piled up anyways, so this is just the area that I would have to mow in the spring, and I'm not even gonna worry about it. So this is just a fine place for them to come in and get out of the weather, have a nice little bedding, have their food and their water, and their water's not frozen. And now the property fence that I talked about in the last video, welcome to the jungle. So that was one of those things that I've been wanting to do, and I thought, well, we'll just do it this year. And I had pretty much had it all planned out, and again, make plans. And my wife and I got to talking, and I thought, you know what, I ran this by her one night, one of those nights when you're lay there and you're not sleeping real well and you get 1,000 things running through your brain at the same time. So down on the front part of the property down here where we used to live before, in a trailer before we built the house up here, it's a 1.7 acre lot. And then we got a barn down there. We got a 4-stall barn down there, and I just use it as storage for equipment and stuff right now. And I have to mow that down there, and I pay somebody to weed eat the whole bank and everything down there because I just don't have the time to do it. And then there's 2 meadows that come up off of it that are pretty steep, and it's a little sporty to brush hog it, let alone to bale it. And this year they were able to cut it, but they couldn't get it to bale because it was just we got just enough rain where it was just too slick, and they couldn't keep the baler and the tractor up on the side of the hill. So I said, you know what, I got to put all that fence in down there anyways. Some of it's going to be property fence. I'm going to put it to good use. We'll just fence in that whole area down there. That's where we'll put our lambs, and hopefully if we can get the donkey, we'll put the donkey down there with it too. But the top of those 2 steep meadows would be the bottom end of the lower paddock for the pigs. So I'll need to get that done anyways. So I said, well, we'll just do all that at once, and that way we've got the meadows and stuff down there for the lambs and the mule and or the donkey, and then we'll have the lower paddock in place for the pigs for the spring. So then we can rotate in between the 2 paddocks again. And so that's going to be the focus now. Everything changes, man, when you start thinking things through and start making ideas and making plans. Like I said, starting about 3:30 this morning, I woke up, I've built that pig pen right there in my head about 10,000 times. So it's done for now. I got the posts in. I'm running out of light here. I got to feed the pigs, and I'll need to go get a couple little things to get everything done. But other than that, we'll do it, and I'll keep you guys updated on the content, or on the progress and everything like that. And that'll just be more content for videos. And like I said, I apologize I haven't got a video on here in a couple weeks because we've just been busy getting other stuff done, and then the weather's kept us inside and stuff. So we're still trudging along, mud boots and all. And now I'm wearing a jacket and a toboggan now at this point. So that's the kind of season we're in. But you guys, I appreciate the subscriptions. I appreciate the interaction. You know, please share this page, share this channel with other people who are like-minded. Give us a like, leave us a comment, tell us what's going on, interact with us. We like to hear from folks, and appreciate you guys, and thank you very much. In the meantime, get prepared, stay prepared. Take care, and God bless.